Mum came to live with me in May to a year and a half ago now, and it wasn't planned. It was just a sort of time when she got a bit lost and needed a bit more support, and just came over that day and never went home. First incident, Mum fell over in the bathroom and broke her hip.
I didn't break my hip.
Didn't you?
No.
Do you remember when you broke your hip upstairs and we had to wait for the ambulance to come?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And then we went to hospital, and it was frightening for both of us, obviously, because I didn't know that you were allowed to stay with dementia patients, so I was very concerned knowing the level of support that my mum needed, and the security that she needed, the sort of safety. You're like an extension of her. You know all the things she likes and dislikes. And when I got to hospital and found out that I could stay, I was relieved about that. There was one incident where Mum was being rolled, but with a broken leg, and I reminded the people that Mum is, you know, a person, and that maybe they should give her a little bit more thought and just let her know what they're going to do before they decide to roll her, because it's terrifying if you're not able to work that out yourself. We were surprised that they were going to leave Mum without operating immediately. They were going to leave her in the hope that it would repair, and yet they were going to mobilise her on a broken leg. So that was a bit of a surprise, but then I'm not medically trained, so I assumed they knew best, and maybe they did. But I thought that was a little bit odd, because it just wasn't getting a chance to set if she was then standing up. And then because of the norovirus, we had problems with getting a commode, because they were having to be kept with the people that were unwell. So that was difficult for Mum as well, and way beyond what a person should have to go through, even at my age. After several weeks, I started questioning, was it right that someone should suffer with diarrhoea for a long term, be left long term, and then also still be given laxatives, and sort of had to press that issue, that is this right? Is it right that someone has diarrhoea so long, and is it right that they have to still be given laxatives? We asked for somebody to look into this because we didn't seem to be getting help with it. Mum was clearly getting weaker, and through different photos of after the hip replacement, then being mobile and then being completely immobile, she definitely seemed to be going downhill health-wise. Then we noticed she could only sit up for a short while because there was such pain in her bottom and all around her stomach. So at that point we were pressing for someone to come and look into this, but it did take a long time, with a lot of continual something's not right, something's not right, lots of urine infections in the meantime, pneumonia or a chest infection, I'm not sure which they diagnosed in the end. So she was going downhill. I believe she was being left purposely because there might be a chance they didn't need to operate. Same as the hip, I think so, in hindsight that's why it was left. Sadly, I think that is the case. I think that because of the dementia they didn't see not just the need, but the weighing the pros and cons. I did keep saying, you know, Mum's got the chance of having a really lovely life when we get her home, and don't just look at her as someone with dementia who's going to have an awful life and has no future, blah blah blah. It's not like that at all. But I really had to fight the case, and my brothers, not just myself, but we really had to push for them to realise that we're not going to go away, we're not going to desert her. We've stayed with her 24/7 throughout the 2 months, and we want her home. I didn't know about a dementia team, so Julie came to me, and straight away I felt like there was a lifeline, because she understood what we were dealing with. She understood that perhaps there is a negative view on this condition, and she also understood and recognised that we didn't have that. We just want her home, and so we can carry on living our life together. We didn't have this down negative view. So Julie was, you know, so valuable in there, a friend. Not just to me, because if I'm comfortable, then Mum's comfortable. If I'm feeling secure, Mum feels secure. I think, in fairness, I think there'd be too many. The nursing staff were excellent. They went, because there were so many that went above and beyond their duty, I don't think it would be fair to pick one, because there really are so many. I mean, they never treated Mum as if she was a nuisance. She was never too much, and believe me, she needed a lot of nursing care with, you know, changing every 2 hours. Nobody could help it, it was an ongoing thing. They never treated her in a way that, you know, it was a burden or a nuisance. And also, even the domestic staff, the lady who brings the food in, they were all, you know, kind humans who had compassion and understood the sort of situation we were all in, and went above and beyond. I think the staff levels, I don't understand them all. Obviously there's the consultants. I think they could learn a lot. I think they could learn to be more compassionate, to be more positive, to not see that dementia is the end, to see that that person deserves a chance, to see that that person is a person, they are a human, they're not just a broken leg or a not working correctly bowel. They're a person underneath who still has a chance of life and still deserves that chance of life.